It's three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
Gentlemen, it's an emergency episode here.
This is
Friday.
an emergency.
Dude, I'm literally at LaGuardia Airport in Queens right now.
Doesn't matter where you are.
Text message from Booney saying, holy shit, Aaron Donald retired.
Answer your fucking phone. Yep, I told you. I'm going over the quotas today. This guy is worth every bit of going over the quota for. And if you haven't heard the news, Aaron Donald has retired. Chaco's reign of terror is over. I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations in the O-line room started with 9-9 is the fucking problem and the pressure and the flavor of the week. And it's one fucking guy. Everything's sliding to him. I don't care if there is a missile coming from the other side. We are sliding to 9-9. They don't even call him Aaron Donald. They might as well just call him the GOAT. They'd be like the special one. The one that I'm not kidding you guys when I say that one time I sat, and this was at old St. Louis back when he was a fucking mover. Okay? I sat, I blinked. He was fucking gone. And I'm not even exaggerating. The level of panic on my fucking face was probably told everybody that I was like, he's a real player. He's a real dude. And I'm telling you, and I've talked about this before, the only film we had was him versus Logan Mangans. And Logan Mangans at the time was getting $11 million, and he had told the Patriots, like, a big fuck you, I'm not doing it. And they paid him, and then they traded him, and he got paid again. And I was like, this is our dude, right? Like, he was our guy to look up to. He one-arm picked him up and fucking body slammed him. I'm not even kidding you. And I was like, nope, not the guy we thought he was, guys. He is not that. He is the guy they told us about. And his first start in the NFL, Monday night, boom, boom, right here, buddy. Guess what? He only played on the right side at that time. He only played on the right side. Guess who was the right guard? He only played on that one side. I was like, this is a joke, right? And before him was Kendall Langford. And I don't know if anyone remembers Kendall. I loved him to death. The first couple times I played him, we hated each other. And then all of a sudden one time he was like, hey, bud, you don't have to try and kill me all the time. Like, we're cool. And all of a sudden, the minute he told me that, the next game, Aaron Donald was standing there. And I was like, fuck, they probably saw on film that we were messing around too much. And it was a day. It was a goddamn day. I'm not even, guys, I can't express to you the level of panic that I had the minute that they said, and now starting, like pyros going everywhere, 99. I was like, I remember everybody looked at me and they were like, Booney, calm down. I was like, I'm good, man. And we went out there and I didn't breathe for the next 3 hours. That guy was so fun to play against. And you know why he's fun? Because he doesn't say a goddamn word. Not one. Doesn't say one word the entire time he's out there. Just stares at you. And all his friends are like, hey, D, you going to let him talk to you like that? I'm like, you're like, yeah, I didn't even say anything. You going to let him talk about you like that? You're like, I didn't say anything. AD, he talking shit about you. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, not. No, not. But you knew he was just going to get fired up. And you were going to see a whole nother level of human being. Like, John Randall, I love you to death, and you were one of the greatest to do it, but this dude was fucking special. I'm sorry, that was a rant.
Also, if you guys can figure out why we record at 5:15 in the morning, it's because Alex isn't at full rev up. We have to catch him before he gets out of bed because it is now 1:15 in the afternoon, and this is how he revs. So
Alex,
there's
a
strategic
energy
advantage.
drinks.
Yeah.
No, there are no energy drinks.
Hours.
It's Lent. I'm not allowed to have energy drinks. I'm not allowed to have coffee.
What?
I gave up caffeine for Lent. Dude, Mackey, the energy drinks slow me down. I'm not kidding you.
You gave up caffeine, or you gave up multiple?
I gave up caffeine and I gave up sugar, so I can't have cake. I can't have ice cream. I can't do my fucking pies. I went to Qualsies yesterday and they were like, "Hey, you haven't bought any pies lately, honey. Are you okay?" I was like, "Lent, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not in the mood. I'm losing weight rapidly.
Why do you have to give up pie for Lent?
I give it up because I'm a better man for it. All right, whatever the big dog tells me to do. Jay
you
knows
only
the
need
story.
to give up one thing. It's one thing for Lent.
He has his own special set of rules. We've been over this. It makes no sense, but we'll let.
We fought about it the last time he was here. I'm not even kidding. We fought.
We got into it a little bit. I was like,
he was like, I followed the Bible. I was like,
the Bible. I go, nowhere in the Bible does it say for 40 days you must abstain from one thing and one thing only.
I will say this. I just came from taking the boys to breakfast. This is Friday. And I was so proud that 4 of them, I was like, I'll just have eggs and toast. And 4 of them were like, that's right, it's Lent. I can always have eggs and toast. And the other 2 were like, oh, I totally forgot. Like, you're just like, I see who's doing it. I see who's doing it right. It's okay.
I'm not getting into this with you. Anyways,
let's
Aaron
have a
Donald.
religious debate right
now.
Let's
just go.
No, we're not.
Catholicism versus Christianity. Ready, go.
Hey, we're talking about one of the ones that was the best to ever do it.
I mean, I was looking at it today. I remember, so we were in the same draft class. Aaron Donald and I came out, and I met him at the Outland Award Trophy Banquet in Omaha, but the draft year.
Yeah.
And I can remember standing next to him being like, this dude? Like, this 6-foot dude is the guy everyone's talking about? Like, this is the next, like, dude? No way. No chance. And you watch his highlights from Pittsburgh, and you're like, okay, yeah, I mean, but it's Pittsburgh, right? It's the ACC. It's not the Big Ten. But from what this dude did, from the moment he stepped onto the football field as a rookie to when he did his last, was complete and utter domination. Unlike anything I think we have ever seen in the sport before. Like, I have never seen a dude that has come into the league and dominated from day one until the end where he's like, I'm deciding to hang it up even though I was a first-team All-Pro, even though I was going to make $34 million next year. I'm done because I want to be, and I'm the greatest. And it's like, yeah, sure thing, man.
That's when you know.
Take your gold jacket on the way out, right? Like, it's hanging there for you as you walk out of here.
Right.
The dude is such a specimen, so special. He changed the D-tackle position in a decade.
Yes, he did.
Completely changed the entire
generational talent,
entire position.
That's what they call him, generational talents. Because you think about it, before him, and I came in the league before him, 3 techniques were big, squatty dudes. They were just there to stop the run and the over. They were big nose guards. Now everybody's big thing is, who's the next Aaron Donald? Who's the next guy? Because that goes into my second thing about him, because you thought it was hard in the pass game. Wait till you try to block him in the run game, and you're like, wait a minute, dude can slip his shoulder like no one's ever seen. I'm not even kidding you. Me and Anthony Davis one time, true story. We line up, and I'm like, hey, we when we went against AD, we never talked. We never told him what we were doing because he was smart. And I knew this because I had some intel on him that he was the brains of the operation. Immediately. He was like the one that could tell what was going on, what was wrong, diagnose the offense, diagnose the play, everything. So we were like, we never speak to each other around him. Like, we don't let him know what we're doing. So I gave him the old deuce wink, right? Like, we're deucing him to him, right? We literally were one person for a whole second, me and Anthony Davis, and he still split both of us. And I don't know to this day how he did it. And my coach at that time was like, I'm not even going to be mad at you guys because I don't know how he did it. But he was so elusive and so quick. And it was like when you would come off the ball, he would see what was coming at him. And in that split second, his whole body could redirect. And like he wouldn't change his head position. So like his head would stay, but his body would shift. And you'd be like, what the fuck is he doing? How is he doing this? And he'd take on 2 guys, and you'd be like, how?
Well, so his first couple of years in the league, I think people made the mistake of doing the coach speak, and Alex, you'll know what I'm talking about, and anyone who's played before. When there's a dude that's dynamic on the other side, but you want to act like we're not afraid of him, right? There's 2 ways that coaches can go about this during the week. Mm-hmm. One of which, what the hell is that? One of which,
that's a fine.
I have no idea what
ding him.
So for the YouTube audience, whatever you just said triggered like balloons popping up.
Triggered balloons. I don't know. It's the peace sign must be balloons. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, 2 ways that coaches can go about when you're talking about a guy that's a game wrecker, right? The first way is the effective way and the right way you should do it, which is the way Boone opened the show with, right? Hey, 99 is right here. We're going to slide to him. We're going to double team him. We're going to do everything we can to disrupt him so he can't destroy this game. I've been on teams and I've talked to players that have been on the other side where coaches try and do the opposite. And they go, this guy's just another dude. He puts on his pants just like the rest of us. He laces up his cleats just like the rest of us, snaps his helmet. It's nothing special. Go out there and do your job. And I've seen dudes get left on islands with this guy, and made it look like they've never played football before in their entire life. And I think the league did that for about a year with him, right? A year before they were like, okay, we can't do that anymore. He doesn't put his shoes on like the rest of us. He doesn't do anything like the rest of us. He is that special of a talent.
You know, they may have called me a pussy in the room at the time, but I was like, fuck all of you. You have no idea what this dude looks like on the interior. And my guards and centers were always like, tackle's not a word. Not a word. Right? Because, you know, the tackles, they're like, what's so tough about him? He's not even that long. And you're like, dude, you watch him like come outside as a 3 technique, and those tackles sometimes, the ones that like mess around with them, he makes them look stupid. He's like, oh, you didn't take me serious? Now I'm going to take you serious. And it's like, okay, I warned you. But I was on the team that year that everybody was like, we're going to go away from him. And I was like, what'd you say? They were like, well, because at the time, Wade Phillips was their defensive coordinator. Brilliant man. And he was like, anytime 9-9 is to the field, we're going to blitz away from him. Anytime 9-9 is to the boundary, we're going to blitz away from him. No matter what. Because then it started making people choose. Are you going to keep your running back in and block that blitzer? Or are you going to send your line there and let this dude one-on-one you? And I was there the year that they were like, yeah, no, we're going to one-on-one him. And I remember literally, and I'm not going to name this coach because he's still in the league, literally looked at me and was like, the fuck are you so worried about? Just go out there and block him. And I was like, fuck you, dude. I've blocked him 6 times, 6 games. It doesn't get easier. It gets harder because the more you play him, the more he gets a read on you and the faster he gets a beat on you. And then he starts to feel the pressure that you're throwing on him and he starts to counter. He's so advanced that he knows if you're a single striker, double striker, he can tell which one's. His hip movement is redonkulous. And I remember looking at this coach going, you're stupid. You're stupid.
You can't do it. You can't.
You're all stupid.
There's certain dudes in this league that you have to give the full respect to, and he's one of them, right? He was one of those dudes that like you knew if you singled him up, he's probably got a 90% win rate. That's absurd to even talk about. But if you
because he trains against guys with knives in the
I swear to God, those are real. I swear those are real.
Like a 5th-round guard in front of him in the regular season.
I'm telling you that after playing him, those were real because when you go to throw a punch, his ability to be like, do not touch me is so incredible that those have to be real. That's how he's learning. Because I would literally, you would like dangle a carrot and it would swipe so fast, you'd be like, what the fuck was that? And then his like hips are going the other way as he's swiping and you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh my God. When you bottled him up,
Alex,
here's the problem.
Is he the greatest?
Oh yeah,
is he the greatest
the greatest
technique? The greatest 3
technique, in my opinion, for sure. I mean, the dude was.
I'm going to take that and elevate the question here because I think like if you go decade by decade, and let's not count cornerbacks. Let's just say trenches. We'll say edges, linebackers, and like front 7 defenders. Right.
Okay.
1980s are defined by Lawrence Taylor.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
1990s probably defined by Reggie White. Sack totals, Super Bowl, Packers. This is I'm just kind of.
That was a good decade though, dude, because you had some really stud dudes. But I'll give you that.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could also say like Bruce Smith, with the
right?
Buffalo Bills.
Who was
today. We could fight this.
We could.
Hell, John Randall is. I mean, I don't
he's
know
another one.
But there's a lot of guys. Early 2000s we can debate, but is it Aaron Donald? J.J. Watt would have. He's an edge, obviously. Who is the identifiable figurehead of ferociousness in the trenches for the last 10 years?
I mean, that's hard because you're right. JJ was that dude, but I think when you talk about a guy that everybody was like, no matter what, we cannot leave this dude on an island. It was 9-9.
The thing with him is like JJ, even towards the end of his career, right? When he left Houston, it kind of went like this, right? Like not drastic drop off, but he wasn't as like completely game wrecking havoc that he had. And then when you really think about it, and I think this is truly the main staple of what like solidifies him as the best for me. Last year's Rams team was in cap hell, right? Yeah. They still a little bit are. And I learned through the sources talking guys at the combine because we have a free agent that was on the Rams. The starting 11 for the Rams on defense last year, it was Aaron Donald on a maxed out deal, right? The other 10 dudes were either on rookie contracts or veteran minimum. That was it. It was only him. He had no help. He had no one out there that like we can slide away or double. Like he was the focal point. Still first team All-Pro and still a double-digit sack guy. Like, that is what solidifies his greatness for me, is the fact that from when he stepped in the league to when he walked out of the league, he was that dude. No drop off, consistency of being the best, right? No flash in the pan, no taking a year off. Like, even when he'd have his off games, he'd still have 3 TFLs and like 8 tackles. Like, he was racking up like linebacker numbers on tackles as a 3 technique. Like, absolutely insanity when it comes to like talking about true greatness on a consistent basis.
And it spawned from his efficiency. Like, from everything from his stance, he never had a normal stance. At times, you look like he barely had his hand in the ground, and you were like, maybe he's dropping. And it was 100% full speed. And then there was times where you were like, I'm almost positive he's going up the field. And it was an inside move right now, and you were like, this guy is in. He never slowed down. He never stopped. He never wasn't like the toughest dude you had to block. When you were looking at him, you knew he hated you. You were like, this is like everything you dream about as a kid, like being in this moment. But then you're in that moment, you're like, I better grab this moment quickly or he's going to grab me. And like Jay said, we used to watch him just wreck games by himself.
There's also a piece of it too where like most O-linemen, you wouldn't hear most O-linemen talk about a D-lineman like this.
No.
Right? Like, most of us are like, screw that dude, overrated, he's not that good. I've never met an offensive lineman in the NFL that did not have the utmost respect for Aaron Donald as a player.
Right.
Like, every single person respected him because of the greatness that he was. Like, there wasn't a single lineman that was like, that dude's not that good. Like, stop talking about
no.
That dude's that dude, right? Like, and everyone that's going to come out over the next couple of weeks is going to talk about their experience and how they had to block him. And it's a memorable experience when you go up against a guy like that. I was lucky enough in 17. I didn't have to play. I was a backup. Thank God I didn't play against Aaron Donald. Like, I didn't want to. That was one game I can distinctly remember. That was the one game of my career I was like, I hope no one gets hurt. Like every now and then, like, listen, as a backup, you're like, give me a sprained ankle. Give me 2 weeks. Like, let me just get a couple, like, starts in there, right? I distinctly remember playing the Rams in 2017 when they came to U.S. Bank going, I hope everyone stays as healthy as humanly possible today. I have zero desire to go out there and try and block 99. Zero. Absolute zero desire.
I will say, it's different, man. Like, you're looking, and it's like Jay said, you're like, where's the rest of him? Where? But then you think about like the leverage that he always had on everybody. Like, I distinctly remember watching him destroy people, and you were like, it's because he's so quick and strong and tiny and compact, and there's not a lot of surface area to hit, and he's so good with his hands. Like, everything about him. And to Jay's point, he's right. There was never anybody that wasn't like, AD's the best. Like, that's when you know everybody's like, there's no question. He was that.
And if
dude.
Anyone comes out now and says it, they're liars.
They are full of
if
shit.
Anyone, now that he's out of the league, they're like, I don't know if he was liar.
You're full of shit.
Lying fine.
Massive lying fines and sensitive fines.
So I know you guys got to jump to a big boy call here. We got this emergency episode knocked out before agency and trainer life takes over. But yeah, Aaron Donald, 3-time AP Defensive Player of the Year, one of the all-time leading interior sack leaders in NFL history, a legend. And now there's a whole nother conversation about the Rams are trying to compete to win a division, and this is a big blow to them.
Big blow, but also it scrapes them a little bit higher of the cap ceiling that they need to get. Right. So that helps a little bit too. So we'll see. But yeah, we got to run. Just had to get on here, pay our respects to one of the greatest to ever play the game.
For sure. AD, shout out, man. Greatest to do it.
Yeah, congratulations on a phenomenal career. Fun to watch. Glad to be a part of it.
Amen. All right, O-line committee. See you guys next week.